Well, it would probably help if I lifted that up. How is everybody? Hello, sorcery. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, let's see here. I am now in, call it uber paranoia mode, checking sound levels, sound quality, and etc. How are we looking? Doll, welcome back to the lab. How are you doing tonight? Thank you so much for stopping by. Let's see here. Apologies for the delayed start. New Stream Deck, so had to copy things over, had to make sure that everything was still working properly, which so far everything except for the starting stream script is still working, which makes me sad. But otherwise, everything else seems to be okay. So we will hope and pray that things are actually working properly. Phoenix, how you doing, mate? Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. I feel sad. Amazon dropped the ball, or they literally dropped my package, I think. Was supposed to have a replacement lab coat available today, but because the last one was massive, I literally had to sit there and pin it up in like 7 different places. Psalm, welcome to the lab, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. Why aren't you asleep? That is the real question. Mount farming and WoW. Ooh. You're keeping him awake? No sleep, only Apex. Oh, Lord. Psalm, it is acceptable to say no to her. All you really have to do is just yeet yourself right out. Easy peasy. In bed, want to quickly say hello. Well, thank you very much for stopping by, mate. Yeah, she kind of does have that impact on people. Which let's see here. Oh, there's the Tilly. Hello, Tilly. She's potentially going to be cat cam fodder for tonight. Maybe. Hi. Big old girl. Oh, Tilly. People want you to say hello. No. As soon as I push the microphone towards her, just instantly nope. Stretch. Oh, sorry. Scoop them. All right, hold on. This is a free redemption for cat cam. Just saying. I know. Can I borrow you? Oh, you're so fat. There's the bean. This is my best girl. Don't tell the other ones, but it's my best girl. The sweetest little girl. Although she doesn't really like to be held all that much, but takes it every once in a while. Nilo. Welcome back to the lab. Tilly. Hi. Oh my goodness. She is going to ruin me today, probably. But yes, we let's kick things off. Of course, we have to kick things off with the much expected at this point cup of matcha tea, brought to you by Jade Leaf, available on Amazon. Had a bit of an interesting ordeal at the end of the last stream. My little bamboo scoop that I typically use to get Matcha, was strangely sitting on the floor. And upon closer inspection, I came to find that the young one, Zelda, the little gray cat that was making all the cat cam appearances in the last stream, had apparently gotten a hold of it and had chewed straight down the middle, like just kind of chomp, 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 and actually split the thing in half. Like you do. Still not sponsored? Shame. I know. Oh, let's get our hot water. There we go. Holy heckin', it's a comfy medge. I know. It's definitely been a comfy day, although lots of work got done today.
Cat is poggers.
Cat is poggers. Did the TTS actually come through the stream this time? That is the important question that I must ask today. It diff. I'm gonna assume it did. Yes, TTS.
Yes, TTS work.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, do I have this? I do have that turned up. All right. I might have to turn on ye olde annoying headphones. So there was a lot that happened today. Let's see here. See if I can get this connected proper. She claps and then does the TTS. Fantastic. This makes me happy. Let's see here.
Clap, clap.
Clap, clap. Oh man, there's some stuff that happened today. Some changes that I made to the stream. Some additions that I've made to the stream. We'll see how much of that actually comes through. Which, by the way, Sam, thank you so much for the bits made. I really appreciate it. I am prepared for the TTS abuse as has been basically made standard in the Cult of Cthulhu. A fantastic community, which if you are not a part of the Cult of Cthulhu, you should be. And you can join the Cult of Cthulhu by going and checking out Sorcery and Sarcasm, who is a fantastic streamer. She is currently playing Dark Souls 3, and if I remember correctly, we have some special spooky games coming up. We shall see. What's with the percent? You know? No, don't know. Genuinely don't know. And also, you must go and give Psalm TV a look, because fantastic streamer, fantastic dude, genuinely a nice person, and the streams are proper fun. So, give them both a look. She legally owns your feedbacks when you join. Now, I did assist in the writing of that contract, but I don't remember that section. You could say he's quite something. I feel dirty. I need a shower after that one. Damn it, Phoenix. It's there in the final copy. Ah, I see. So you made some edits after I made my recommendations. I would like to apologize on behalf of everybody in the Cult of Cthulhu. Your souls were forfeit. I mean, you knew that. That was kind of front and center, but, you know. I'm not sorry. I'm going to need more wine before I'm prepared for these puns. Well, I mean, Neelican, why do you think I have this tonight? It's been a punny day. Just saying. All right. Shall we get into it then? Let's see here. Let's see if this button works. Does this button work? This button works. Oh, I'm so happy. I just upgraded to the 15 key Stream Deck, the Elgato Stream Deck, because yeah, I needed more buttons. I have found reasons to have buttons. It's just, oh, the automation is so good. I love it. Tilly would like to say hello. Behave, chat? No, sorcery. That is not how we do in the lab. The whole point of the lab is relatively controlled chaos.
No mods, red.
No mods, red. Yes. Uh-oh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, hold on a bloody minute. We're gonna need to give a quick shout out to the most wholesome of Neelokins, the Neelokin Winnokin, because Nilo just got affiliate. My dude. Long overdue, well deserved, and you all should go give him a look because he is a fantastic streamer. And again, keeping in the theme of basically every streamer that I know / watch is a Dark Souls streamer. But he deserves it. Just saying. All right. So, where last we left off here in the lab, we were working on an admin page. And mostly we were working on an admin page just to kind of show the different sides of building an end-to-end application, front end, back end.
One last TTS spam to say GN all love you.
Oh, thank you so much, Sam, and thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you get some good sleep. Yeet sorcery out the window if you need to so that you can get that good sleep. And if that doesn't work, call me up and I'll yeet her out of the country. Because, you know, that's my job these days.
Congratulations, Neelokin, you really deserve affiliate. You've worked so incredibly hard and been such a supportive addition to the cult. I can't think of anyone who deserves it more. Saucer 19 praise.
I can't either. And thank you for the bit, sorcery. Don't yeet you, then let some go to sleep. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Just let him go to sleep. And then everything will be fine. Seize the feed pics. I can't guarantee that the feed pics will be seized. Unfortunately, that's kind of outside of my capability.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
I'm so happy. Except that TTS is not working on 100. Oh no. Thank you for the 100 bits, Nintendo. How you doing, mate? Welcome back to the lab. Oh my goodness. What was that? Let's see here. I believe I can replay events. Yes? Yes, I can. Here, let's do that again. Marvel!
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Unfortunately, though, it appears that I do not have the TTS enabled on 100 bits, which is very disturbing, and is so disturbing that I'm actually going to pause what I am doing to fix it, because that is unacceptable. So it's tier-based? It shouldn't be, but it appears that it is. Oh, right, I didn't actually have to do this here, but yes, bear with me, my apologies. Horror, how you doing? Oh, I'm so sorry, Horror, I missed your message completely. Thank you so much for stopping by, mate. Welcome back to the lab. You're gonna have to bear with me a little bit. We are having the joys of adding new things to the stream, ergo adding new features, and then breaking them instantly. Because that is apparently how I do. Let's see here. Here we go. Hello, Tilly. I know. Ah, yes. Okay. Yes, I remember. I remember what I did now. Yeah. Let's see here. So we want to do kitten? Yeah, that was Tilly. Tilly. Oh, she's busy. She's busy. She doesn't wanna talk to me. Fine. Okay, so that's very interesting. And there's a part of me that that believes that as I do this, I am probably... here we go. Let's try it one more time. So sorry, everybody. I just genuinely want this to work properly.
Oh, good. My slow clap processor made it into this thing.
Pog plus Subdamage Labs.
Oh, that's so bad. That is so bad. Yeah, you know, I feel like I should probably just disable these other bits thingies, because I genuinely don't want like multiple versions. I kind of just want one version. So why would I have multiple versions?
Pog plus Subdamage Labs.
Is it duplicating for you guys? Because it's duplicating in my ear and I don't like it. Oh my goodness. Well, that's all right. We'll just save that off and close that off. Pug. Double checking to make sure that worked, and fantastics. The variations are for the bit symbol on the bit donation. Ah, gotcha. So probably don't want to do that. I'll probably just make that simpler. I'll drink to that. All right. So, only close to 30 minutes into the stream, we might actually get to working on some stuff on stream. But who does that? That's just silly. I don't think it's duplicating. Fantastic. Then it might have just been because I was playing it through the browser and through the Streamlabs app. So, look at all those blob dances. I would like a blob dance party in chat if you all would not mind. Go Shower Sorcery. Thank you so much for stopping by. Blob dance for the ultimate win. Okay, so chat, I have a confession to make. I was kind of sort of futzing around with this just a little bit off of stream. And I was mostly futzing around with it because I wanted to really get an idea as to which direction I wanted to go for the overall kind of design of what we have right now. And what we have right now is good. It's a scuffed little Gorilla UI, and that's perfectly fine. But what I was effectively doing was I was just kind of looking at this thing and going, you know, this is really harsh on the eyes right now. Something that a good friend of mine taught me a good while ago was that these kind of blanche colors, like this stark white background, is just a burning sensation on the eyes, which is obviously why I have a dark theme for my editor. And speaking of dark theme, let's see here. Let's see if we can't make that just a little bit brighter. Yeah, there we go. So because this is so bold, so bright, I started working on a couple of things. Just a couple of style changes is really all that I was making. So here's the original with the general styling thing of it doesn't really respond very well. As you can see, there's kind of like there's a disparity between the size of the boxes, and that's mostly because of the content within them. But then also the top nav is a little wonky. It's like evenly spaced things, and most navigations don't really look like that. Most navigations are kind of smooshed. You have the logo on the left, your username on the right, and then smush nav in the middle. So that's more or less what I was trying to go for. So let's see here. What all have I done? I smooshed the navigation together and kind of gave it this very, very faint border. And I was kind of on the of the mind that I want to make that slightly bigger. Maybe. Kind of messing with it. And then obviously made the background more of this kind of a soft gray, I think is what this was called. To be perfectly honest, I kind of sort of got this from something else and copied it into the application, and bada bing, you have the admin page as it exists, which is, I think it's looking pretty good, personally. It's certainly not the best, but you do the best that you can with what you got. As well, we kind of got a little bit of a weird thing going on here with this logo. Like, this logo is not looking particularly great. Whereas meanwhile, we've got this kind of consistent theme for the username over here, where it's like it's just ever so slightly bumped off of the side, and I think I want to duplicate that. So the way that I did this was with a padding, just a little bit of a padding right of 1 EM, whatever EM actually means. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what it actually means. So what I think we would want to do is padding left 1 EM. Kind of sort of gives us a close approximation to what we had before. Ish, but you know, take that as you will. And then on top of that, I think I want to do font size 2 EM. Oh, no, I don't. 1.5 EM. So these are the kind of things that I was futzing around with. It's like 1.2 EM, 1.3 EM. 1.3 EM looks okay, but 1.2 EM seems like a good add. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. I've literally just been sitting here tweaking styles to make it look a particular way. The most important thing, though, is that I did add some responsive styles. So I want to show that real quick, because I realized that I didn't actually say this in the last stream. I've kind of come to adopt, whenever I'm working on front-end web applications, I've come to adopt the mobile-first design approach. The mobile-first design approach basically looks like this. So I have this very small window, as small as I can possibly get this. And this is supposed to represent a very small phone screen. Alternatively, if you didn't know, Firefox and Chrome both have mobile view. So they can literally shove the UI down into a mobile view, and you can see what that mobile view would look like on various types of devices. So in this case, this is a very new iPhone. This is a slightly older iPhone. What it would look like on an iPad, on a Galaxy S9, etc., etc. I typically like to have it somewhere around either the iPhone S or the 6, 7, 8, and 11. Purely because that screen size seems to be pretty representative. And so what you effectively do is you're working on your styles, you're making the app look good for a mobile experience, and then you just flick the button off and on to see what the difference is between desktop and mobile. And when you don't have desktop styles, oh, hello. John Cena. I was wondering how long it would take before somebody redeemed that. So worth, fantastic. This is what happens when a Medj has stream toys. Details. I hope it was worth Nilo. Let me come down here, save that, and open that. So without any type of special styling to make the desktop view look any better, this is effectively what we end up with. We end up with these like super stretched, like weird box looking things. I saw the new Redemption, so it was a trap all along. So this is okay, but this is not really the view that we want to go with. And so what we have to do, what we then choose to do, is we make adjustments for the desktop experience. And that's the whole idea of mobile first. You style your application, you style your CSS as if it was running on the mobile device. And then you add these media queries. Oops, come back down again. There we go. You add these media queries to say, hey, if your screen size is at least 768 pixels, which is potentially dating me just a little bit because, yeah, we kind of sort of used those values a long time ago. If your screen size is at least that size, then we'll apply the additional styling, which in this case is basically to grid it up. And then grid is what gives us these kind of, at the moment, weirdly misshapen boxes. But, you know, eventually we'll kind of get to that point of, okay, well, we actually now have a desktop experience that takes advantage of that real estate. Can I play this song? Sorry, Alamender, I don't really do songs on stream, but welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. Sorry, oh geez. John Cena! Oh, and we had a follow on top of that. Alamender, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. That was a perfectly timed follow and a perfectly timed redemption. Thank you, Sorcery. Let's see here. So, aside from the styling being kind of shite, the one other thing that I did want to have as part of this is I did want that chat window. The chat window is a little... yeah. Because if you think about it, the chat window on mobile is going to be tiny. Like, it's going to be so small. So I'm kind of curious what that's even going to look like. Let's see here. Now it's stuck in my head. Oh boy. Here we go. Okay. Let's see here. So I think for the sake of simplicity, the chat box at least is probably also going to be a card, which I also realized that I didn't change these IDs. Bits, uptime, and shout out. So imagine not saving up for the Alt F4 redeem. Imagine not being such a mean person. I can't wait for the day when, like, I've been told that by having a Alt F4 redemption option, that there's just going to suddenly be a wave of Alt F4s and you're going to have to make the decision. Do you Alt F4 and then just say, well, we've Alt F4'd, so everybody else is SOL? Or do we Alt F4, open it, Alt F4, open it, Alt F4, open it? There's also a minor problem that there is no function, there's no F4 on this keyboard, so might have to address that at some point. Whoops. Right, this is going to be chat box. Class equals card. But Medj keeps dangling new stuff in front of me. Maybe by design. Maybe. Maybe, just maybe. Let's see here. Do I really need a full card? So what I'm kind of pondering there is if I open this up, at the moment we basically have a full width card, and the intention of that card is going to be, did I have styles for the other card? I don't think so. Yeah, no, I just had it for the metrics card. Okay. So, but the thought here being that each of these would potentially be a line of text inside of this this chat box. But then, of course, if we were to smash that down, well, it becomes a very smushed thing. So how do we want to do this? I think for the sake of simplicity in styling, as well as for the simplicity in ordering, Shoryuken Pizza! Thank you so much for stopping by, mate. Welcome back to the lab. I'm playing League, but I'm here. I appreciate you being here, mate. And for that, Shoryuken Pizza. You are going to have an entry in this UI for testing purposes. Let's see here. And for that, you're just going to say hype, 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 hype. Because that's all I got. So sorry. Okay. So maybe something like that. Yes. And what I think we're probably going to need is a span class equals user. Something to that effect. What I'm thinking here is we're probably going to have some kind of styling that is applied. So thinking back to the format of the priv message, we had a bunch of tags that preceded the message itself. Then it told you who the user was that sent the message, and then the message itself. So the thought there is that if we really wanted to get fancy, like all the various colors that show up on chat, I could potentially duplicate those colors and bring them into this this bot. Is certainly an option. Whether or not I end up doing it or not, maybe. But for the time being, at least, we could potentially do something here. So if I wanted chatbox user, probably we'll do something like color. What's a good gold color? Let's get a good gold color. That's not exactly what I would call a very good gold color. That's just like really bright yellow. Sure, why not? We've kind of gone from a nice gold color to whatever macaroni color that is. That's basically macaroni. We're just gonna go with macaroni. Let's see. I think we're also going to need some additional styles. So chatbox UL and chatbox ULLI. And in this case, we want a list style type none, so we don't get those annoying little bubbles next to it. Radioactive gold? Maybe. Oh, sorry. Cat wants out. Give me just a sec. Unfortunately, that means that our star for Cat Cam has exited the building. However, we have found a tiny cat instead. There you go, baby. Actually, I'm not entirely sure what that would need, but looks something like that. Free cat cam. I know. I'm being so terrible about the cat cam redemption. It's like, why would we redeem? He's just doing it. Okay, so this is okay. But not quite what I had in mind. Oh, right, it's because of the text align. So I think for this we are going to want, for the UL, text align left, probably. Yeah. Cat was trying to get after my matcha. Ain't about giving up my matcha, cat. Gonna see a cat fight. That doesn't look terrible. All intents and purposes, it actually looks decent. What happens when you do this? I think we're gonna need a longer message. So let's see here. For this, we're gonna need the text align to be left, and we're gonna force this. I don't really remember how important it is to include the important tag. Well, actually, you know what? It worked without it. If it doesn't continue to work without it, then we'll go from there. Boop. Let's see here. So, come back down here. I need a longer message. We'll take this one. Hype. Something like that. Yes, lots of hype. What does the lots of hype look like? Okay, it basically wraps, which is perfect. That is basically what I wanted to see, was if on the mobile view, long text actually wrapped properly, which it appears that it does. So that just saved me a ton of time and effort. Oh, and there's one more styling element that I'm not particularly fond of, which is that you see how this is basically shoved up against the side of the window. I would prefer that to actually be consistent. So section class equals chat box. So if we come up here, I think it was a metrics card. Yes. So in metrics cards, I'm also going to add for chat box. That way, effectively, I just applied the same style onto two different sections, which I should probably clarify that. So what I've effectively done with this HTML is I've gone with the HTML5. Needed my whisk. I've gone with the HTML5 approach of kind of dedicated tags for dedicated sections of the page. So, for example, the top section is wrapped in a header, and inside of the header is the nav bar. But inside of the header is also the logo and the user display. Whether we use the user display or not, still TBD. Down below that, we have the main section, which is effectively all of this. And then down below that, we have this tiny little footer that has a little copyright on it. And then inside of main, we have sections. And sections, in this case, denote a section for the metrics card and a section for the chat box. And it kind of gets blurred that there are separate sections, one for these kind of top 4 cards and then one for this bottom card once you shove down into mobile view. But that's okay. I mean, I'm personally not really too concerned about that, at least not in the way that this is currently implemented. So let's see here. Let me see why this has some margin around it, it would appear. Yes, it has it has a top bottom margin, that's why. Yeah, we'll kind of leave it. We'll leave it as is. It's fine. I was thinking about if I wanted to do something about this this kind of center gap, and the short answer is nah, not really. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. John Cena! Hello, 715. Welcome back to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. I see the table flip redemption is insanely difficult to overlook. Oh, I'm kind of pleased. By the end of it, though, the people that have been here since the beginning are just going to be like, oh, why? No more, man. But that's why it's a table flip. Okay, so, I mean, at this point, I'm kind of good with the direction that this has gone. I mean, at this point, I don't really want to do anything else with it, so I think we'll just kind of leave that style as is. So, important distinction. So what I effectively did was I have this additional admin screen. This additional admin branch in Git. And I was working on this kind of in isolation to the main branch, which is what I was using for stream. So if I come into here and do a git diff, we can see all of the changes that I made, which at this point is more or less chalked up to the chat box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to yeet a cat out of here that keeps trying to get at my matcha. So we're going to git add and then git commit. And I am going to amend the commit because I have a terrible commit here. And we're going to say add chat box. Then I'm going to come back onto the main branch. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to do a pull request. Because I don't believe I've done a pull request on stream yet. So let's get a pull request, shall we? All right. So if you have never heard of a pull request before, let me close out all of these and come to github.com, Medgelabs, Streambot. All right, so we're in GitHub. You've made a branch. You've made changes on that branch, and you believe that this code is ready to deploy to production, potentially. So, what do? Well, in most shops that I've been in, most shops have a pull request culture if they have something like Git as their version control system. Oh, please excuse, cat is getting into stuff. Ugh. Oh, and she knocked over my crane. How rude. Just put that over there. So a pull request is more or less a request to pull your changes into the target branch. So in GitHub, when you create a new branch and you have the ability to do so, you create a branch, you make some changes, you push that branch from your local environment, your local machine, up to the GitHub repository. You have the opportunity to create a pull request. This, for me, is, I would call it the most representative state of what development looks like. I have a task, I'm working on that task, getting stuff done. Eventually I get it to a point where I'm happy, I've tested it, I've done this, that, or the other. I'm ready to suggest that back to the team, say, hey, I think this is ready. So I'll come in, I'll create a pull request. In my opinion, rule number 1 of a good pull request is a good title. Add admin page to bot. Short, concise, and a quick description of what this pull request is about. And then for me, I always do bullet points to kind of give the reviewers a summarized idea of what I've done with this pull request. So in this case, might be, let's see here, add pure HTML, CSS, admin page template. We'll say draft design for metrics, cards, and draft design for chat box. It's relatively simplistic. It's a very small PR, but hey, not all PRs have to be massive. Ideally, most PRs aren't massive, because when a PR is massive, that is more cognitive effort that the reviewer has to put in to really understand what all is going on. And then you can see here, this used to not be the thing. This arrow used to not be there, but it now shows you, hey, this is the branch. This is the branch that you are comparing. This is where the changes are going. So in my case, I'm trying to merge my admin branch into main. So we create that pull request. If you are working in an agile environment that uses something like Jira, you might have something that looks like Medj 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 6 add admin page to bot. That prefix is a Jira ticket number. So in Jira is kind of a task management software. It allows the team to create cards, these task tickets that are representative of work that needs to be done. And usually they will have some kind of a prefix that looks like this. There is a way to hook Jira and something like the admin page up. Excompdux. I have probably said that wrong, but thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab, where we are building a Twitch bot in Go, although we have taken a quick aside to build a very quick admin page for the bot. So you might have that in that team, and if you do, it is a good idea to include the ticket number in front of the PR because it's good for tracking, and it's good to be like, hey, there was something that happened in this ticket. What were the changes? You can quickly search for that ticket number. And there's all kinds of automation that you can do with it. All right. I was going to say, I heard the cat, but I did not see the cat. Finally, you have if you are a reviewer, what you would probably receive is a link to this pull request. So you come in, you say, okay, well, what's going on? General idea for what happened. In this case, I have a summary, so I can pop into the file changes. And I can go, okay, there's some stuff in here. Looks like we've added a bunch of HTML elements. We added a bunch of stuff. For some reason, we have a package.json. Is this necessary at this point? Given that it's a pure HTML CSS site. And in my case, if I am the reviewer, then I could leave a review and say, hey, hold on a second. Imagine I'm listening attentively while I lurk and work on new alerts. No worries, Neelican. It is definitely one of those things that may or may not have happened first when I got that email. So, cannot blame you at all. But thank you so much for the lurk, mate. So, me as the reviewer now say, okay, well, I don't think that this admin package.json needs to be here. So I can say request changes. Now, because I am the pull request creator as well as the reviewer, I can't actually block it, but I would get a notification, be like, oh, okay, I actually don't need that package.json, so I'm going to rm admin package.json, get status, get add admin package.json, get commit -m, remove package.json. All right. And so now if we come back up here, you now see, oh, there's a new commit. And additionally, it addresses the original comment. So if you come back to the conversation, you can say, I always like to do that because I speak in emoji. I don't really speak in English, apparently. And then you can consider if the reviewer says, yep, this looks good, they can give their approval. You can either merge the PR, or I personally prefer squash and merge. I won't go into the details between the two, but the TLDR for your later Googling is that squash and merge, when honored, going back into the main branch, keeps your branch history very small, very compact. And I like it. Squash and merge. This just brings back the commit messages, so you can edit this ahead of the squash if you wanted to. But if you are good with it, confirm the merge, and then delete your damn branches. Not a lot of people, when they do a pull request, not a lot of people will actually delete the branch after the merge is complete. I'm not entirely sure why, but you end up with a bunch of branches up here. Like, this list of branches gets massive. I've seen hundreds of branches that just kind of sit here, and all of them say the same thing. They've been merged. There's no changes to them. There's no additional bits to them. So why do you keep the branch around? You're not saving yourself anything, really. Sorry, cat keeps jumping up trying to get the matcha. Yes. Can't you just restore the branch if you want it back? Exactly. If you needed to go back in time to a particular point, you could either on the pull request itself, I think even you can come back onto here. I think after a while this goes away, I think. But on GitHub at least, you can restore the branch if you want to. Or my personal preference, if you are going back to a particular point in time, just check out the hash. Like, there's a commit hash that now represents this change. It's right there. Just do this. Boop. Git check out that hash. Well, I have to do a git pull. Git fetch. -p. There we go. And you can go straight to that hash if you wanted to. I don't want to, but git pull. Then once a PR is merged, ideally you have some kind of notification system that pops into, say, a Slack message, a Teams message, whatever you may be using, and says branch merged. Then that should be an indication for you to go and update your code locally, hopefully. And then at that point, I can delete the admin branch, and voila, boop, we are back to where we were. So that was probably the fastest pull request overview / gloss over that I could possibly come up with. But yeah, there were a couple of messages about, like, well, the merge or the actual release process, what does that look like? Well, it starts there. All right. So next thing that I want to look at And this is something that I've been wanting to, I kind of want to jump back into the Go code for a couple, just because there was an idea that was bubbling around in my head. Remember that idea of an auto greeter? I think I want to take a stab at that. I have a couple of personal reasons for wanting to look into that. But specifically as well, I wanted to extend the infrastructure requirements of this bot a little bit. So let me get ye olde whiteboard set up here. And let me kick the cat out 1 second. So sorry, the cat was trying so hard to get into my matcha. She almost succeeded in one case. All right, let's see here. Let's get that up, and let's get the Zoom call started so that we can share the whiteboard. iPhone, iPad via AirPlay. That over there. Okay. So, the idea for an auto greeter has come up a couple of times now, I think, in various forms. But the general idea for the auto greeter is not so much to leverage the IRC capabilities, but more to do a bit more of a custom approach. So here's what I'm thinking. If I remember correctly, I think it was 715 that brought it up, that there is a feature of IRC where when a user joins a channel, oops, let's get the bigger one. When a user joins a channel, there's a join command that is sent. I'm not entirely sure if I as just a little old chat bot, if I have access to that join message or not. But effectively, it would be this idea of join. I think username is in there, and so the bot would more or less just have another handler. We'll call this the greet handler. And the greet handler would be responsible for receiving those messages, grabbing that username, and then sending back out a priv message greeting that user. But that's a little weird. It would also effectively be spam for people just kind of coming and going. Maybe somebody stops by and says, I'm not really into this programming shit, and bounces out again. But the chat would be spammed with these messages of, welcome, person that has never said anything before. How you doing? That's not really a greeter so much as it's like a security system for the lab, which maybe we'll get into. So that's not really what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is more based on participation in chat. So from the previous approach, we kind of set up this idea of actually we don't have the bidirectional side anymore. Right? Now we only have the kind of broadcast approach to the bot. So the bot is going to receive a message off of the IRC. That's going to be read through the client. The bot is going to take that, and then it's going to broadcast that message out to as many handlers as there are registered. So what I'm thinking is adding another handler to this. Yes, pin color black. Thank you. And in this case, this would be the greet handler. But the greet handler has a bit of a time with this, because if I were to base this off of chat, I can't respond with welcome username every single time that somebody chats. Again, that would be obnoxious, and it would not really be a greeter at that point. It would just be it would be like somebody that is following you around and just constantly, every time you say something, they go, hey, 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 listen. Sound familiar? Yeah. So what I'm thinking is that this greet handler needs to basically keep a record. They need to keep a ledger of who all has chatted in this room before. And if that person, this priv message comes in and it has a new username that it doesn't have in its ledger, then it will greet them. So in some capacity, we need username, blah, 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 blah. And then it will greet them with some kind of a message. Maybe it's the same message. Maybe it's a varying message. Who knows? But we have some options. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I would like to take a stab at for today's stream. Any questions, comments, concerns, curiosities, anything of the nature? Keyboard song, oh dear. Alrighty, hang on. Me. Boop. Hopefully that was to your liking. And sorry, can I think of one? Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. Hopefully that actually came through, but details. So, one last thing that I think is going to be important to this is that we could implement the greet handler pretty simply. We could just have an in-memory map. That map is, or it could just be a list. There are a couple of data structures that we could potentially leverage to do this. I feel like a map might be best, considering it's a lookup on a specific value. But we could just have an in-memory data structure that represents the ledger of all of these entries, and we could just kind of leave that with the bot running, and it would work for a little while. But eventually, something is going to happen. Something is going to break this bot. Something is going to disconnect this bot. The machine that the bot is running on could explode. For all we know, the machine that this bot is running on could be, I don't know, sitting in the Pacific Ocean, and maybe that one pod cracks. Who knows? So basically, failure is a thing. Failure is a thing that happens all the time. And if we were to put that ledger into this in-memory representation, we kind of run the risk of, if the bot shuts down and restarts again, well, now all of a sudden, if we're midstream, the bot's going to start greeting people that have already been greeted. And that is not what we do not want to have happen. So, additionally, though, we do want the capability to clear that ledger as we're thinking about how the overall implementation, the general use case for how this ledger is going to work. I basically have, at the moment, two requirements. Number one, I should be able to very quickly determine if a user has previously chatted or not. And number two, I should be able to reset or clear that ledger either manually or more preferably would be in an automated fashion, so that I can more or less greet people for, say, the next stream. So that's the thought. The general idea, at least. Any questions? We pull Zoom back over there, so it's kind of out of the way. And let's bring that back off. All right. So I am, to kind of be a little more representative of what I would typically do, I'm going to make a new branch, and I'm going to call this the greeter. If I was working in an agile shop that's using something like Jira, or I think even Trello has ticket numbering and so forth, I would probably do something more like Medge123 greeter. But in this case, it's just me and I don't have a ticketing system, so greeter. And let's see here. Let's pop into main.go, I think is already a thing. So to kind of keep with the pattern of what we have so far, which is the bot has handlers inside of the bot folder, I'm going to add another. We're going to call this greet handler.go. And we're gonna, we're gonna open this guy up. We're gonna restart COC because apparently COC can't handle new code. And I also want to track that so that we can have, yes, so that we can have that. And then of course, because I completely forgot how I did this, I'm going to be just a wee bit lazy. And I'm going to copy pasta because of course I am. And this is going to be the greet handler. Or actually, we'll just call it register greeter. Because why not? All right. And then we do need to import message. So how do we want to do this? Well, first things first, we need a ledger. What does the ledger look like? We could do a couple of things here, I think. So just to kind of illustrate what I was talking about before, one possible implementation is to just have a ledger, which in this case would probably be a map of string short, or not short. It doesn't matter. Probably just that. So this is a map of string integer. We would probably have this as an initialization. So ledger equals make, and this is map string int. At least I think it wouldn't be colon equals, it would be that. So effectively, when we register the greeter, this is the initialization step. And I think I'm actually going to make this a function. Yeah, init ledger. And so in this case, I'm going to paste it down here, and then we're going to do init ledger. So the thought there is that I already know in my mind that the in-memory representation is not really the approach that we're going to take. So what I'm basically doing is I'm creating a separation between the handler and the ledger, or at least I'm attempting to. And in this case, this I think is okay. Let me double check here. Yeah, okay. And then we just do something like that. I think there was also... A nil map has no keys, nor can keys be added. The make function does a thing. That's the map literal. Aha. Test that a key is present with the to-value assignment. So this is more or less what we're going to be primarily using. We don't necessarily care so much. Yeah, I would say we don't necessarily care so much. How do we want to put this? Again, this is kind of in my mind. I know that I'm going to change the implementation from a map to something else. So I'm wanting to kind of create this separation of ledger from bot code, and I think I'll have something like this. And in fact, I think I'm even going to go one step further. I'm going to add a struct, and the struct is going to be a wrapper around the map string integer. And then we're going to have maybe. You know what? I'll nix that for right now. I was trying to get fancy. I decided not to get fancy. Got some stuff. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Make it work, make it right, make it pretty. In that order, preferably. So we'll say exists, and then we want key. And then this is probably just a Boolean. And I think in this case, we would say underscore okay equals ledger key. And then we would just return okay. Oh, hold on one second. Sorry. Pupper wanted out. So more or less, what I'm doing here is I'm just creating more layers of, I'm just creating a layer of abstraction over the presence of a map. So in the bot code, what we will effectively do, allegedly, let's see here, message dot command params prefix string. So this is something that we haven't done yet. We haven't actually done user parsing. So we're going to have to do that. And actually, let me add a couple of notes for myself to do. Parse username from message. Check ledger for presence. If new, add to ledger and greet. Okay. So more or less looks something like this. Where it makes sense to parse the username, still deciding. Check ledger for presence is pretty much the exist function that we've created down here. And then if new, if they are a new chatter, then add to ledger and greet. So the last thing that I think we'll need is add key string, and this could potentially return an error, but yeah, we'll say that. How do we want to do this? I don't think that there's really anything sketchy about assignment, because the insert is just that, more or less. So yeah, I don't think we'll actually return an error here, but ledger key equals 1, because why not? And return nil. How do you want to do this? Ooh. Igor Barboza, thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are attempting to build a Twitch bot in Go. And at this particular point, we are adding a new feature to the Twitch bot, the auto greeting functionality. Well, attempting to anyway. All right. So this more or less forms the basis of our bot. Hydrate. Thanks, Ark, and think of one. I've got like 4 different drinks in front of me. I've got Delicious. I've got matcha. I've got aqua. And I've got Better Aqua. Also known as coffee. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And another hydrate and a stretch. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. Leonard SSH22? I think I pronounced that properly. Welcome to the lab, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. Fantastic name, by the way. Especially with the inclusion of the service and the port in one name. Gold. Alrighty, let's see here. So in this case, we have 2 slight... This part is actually relatively simplistic. If we get the username from somewhere, right? Then we can do something like if exists username which I'm now starting to think that maybe exist is not what we want. Since more or less we don't care too much about the presence, I don't think. Aw, Leonard SSH22, thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Normally I have a lab coat on, but, well, I say normally, I just started that last stream, but unfortunately Amazon kind of dropped the ball on that delivery, so apologies for the casual Tuesday attire. The lab will return to proper lab coat fashion whenever Amazon gets their shit together. So if not exists, it's not a great thing to say, all things considered. Then we want to add username to the ledger, and then we want to bot.send message. And how do we do this? Let's see. This is priv message sends a message to the given channel without prefix, which I thought. Huh. Interesting. I thought we had made a better version of that. Hang on a second. Log.printf. Nope. We were just going straight to bot.client.priv message. That's right. I forgot about that. That's okay. for right now. So in that case, we will change this to bot.client.priv message. No, wait, no. Okay, so I have identified a little bit of a shortcoming because at the moment, priv message and send message both require the channel, which the bot should really be keeping track of that. The bot should be keeping track of which channel it's currently connected to. So I think for this, we're probably going to say channel string. I'm going to add a channel to this. And let's see here. Connect does a thing. Authenticate does a thing. Error equals bot.client.join channel. If in this particular case, I think we want if error does not equal to nil, bot.channel equals channel. That way, if it is an error, if there's an error joining the channel, then there's probably something wrong with that channel. So we don't really want to populate channel as if nothing was wrong. I may come back to that decision, but... Oh, wait, no. If error is nil, not if error is not nil, because that would be silly. If error is equal to nil, bot.channel equals channel. You could argue that there's... You could argue both ways, I think, for whether or not to do that, but that will at least give me a potential debugging hook. At least I'm thinking it'll give me a potential debugging hook. Maybe, possibly. So if I see a bot that has no channel, but I've called join to a channel, that at least gives me a little bit of a jump point to be like, something might have gone wrong. Which means that this just becomes message, and then this can become bot.channel. So again, we're kind of making that that simplification process. We're choosing to, or not simplification, that abstraction process. We are choosing to funnel responsibility of interacting with the IRC. We're choosing to funnel that through the bot, which means that we then get to do stuff like just send message. And in this case, it would be hello. Oh, we need an FMT dot. I don't really like inline FMTs. Message equals format.sprintf. Welcome to the lab, or something like that. Let's just do this. Welcome, %s, exclamation point, username. And then in this case, it would just be message. So, more or less the three things that we need to do, except for this one. Still got to get to that one. So we've got check the ledger for presence, which is this. And I would actually like, before I move off from that, I don't really like this negation life. If you know that you're checking for the absence, like that's the whole purpose, that's the only thing that you really care about, then instead of an exists, why not have something like absent? And then in here, you do that. Ronnie VV or Ronnie, depends on how you look at it. Thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab, where we are attempting to build a Twitch bot in Go. Alrighty. Yes. So if you return not okay, which in this case, yes, we have basically just moved that negation point down in the code, but now we get something like this. If absent username, add the username and then greet them. It's definitely become a V. So sorry, Ronnie. I'm in a bit of a weird mood today, so you'll have to bear with me. But again, thank you so much for stopping by the lab. Boo. So we get rid of that. And if new, add to the ledger. So in this case, add to the ledger and greet. So now we just need that part. Now we just need the parsing username from the message. Which unfortunately means that we need to parse all of the wonderful tags and such, I think. Actually, no, we don't need to parse tags. In this case, we just need to parse the prefix. Was it the prefix? I think it was the prefix. Let's find out. Term. Let's get, not source, our access token. Go run main.go. God, this is going to be terrible. Let's get a quick check for the hello. Thank you very much. Okay. So there's a thing here. There's a pattern here that I think 715 was trying to point out. What was that now? 4 streams ago, maybe. That kind of preceding colon is important. So if I were to go back to, let me go back to the bot. So on connection, we need this. And then we also did a capability requirement, if I remember correctly. And it was the capability requirement that allowed us to get the additional pieces. I think it was this one that was telling me this. Yes. So we need a capability request of Twitch TV tags. So what we can do is, I feel like I would want this to just be a message. Nice beard, mate. Thank you, Rofi. Welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is, unfortunately, as far as this beard usually gets. I tried for many years to grow this out much longer. Just didn't work. It always ended up like curling and doing that weird thing. So now it just kind of turns in. It just kind of stays this way. But is it Rofi 2K? Am I pronouncing that right? Probably not. But I apologize to everybody in chat. I am terrible with pronouncing names, so bear with me. Let's see here. A capability request feels like using IRC v3 capability registration. Okay, so this is a standard IRC thing. So growing and having a beard, it's a curse and a wonder. You're not wrong, Phoenix. Kind of hard to pronounce since it's a Scandinavian name. Ooh, interesting. Very nice. At some point, I will attempt to figure out how to pronounce it properly. Just bear with the poor American, the poor uncultured American. And by the way, everybody, we do have a Discord if you are interested in joining. It is not a very active Discord. It's not quite like the Discord of, say, streamers like our wonderful mod, but Oops. Oh, is that command not? Oh, right. That command is not working because it's not on. So there. Discord's like the one that Sorcery has is very active. There's a ton of stuff going on. My Discord is more just a message hub. So if you ever wanted to interact outside of stream, if you wanted to, more or less, if you wanted to ask questions, bring up ideas, anything of that nature, that is what the Discord is for. It is effectively direct communication to me, if that is of any value to anybody. Uncle's from the USA, so we had a hard time learning to pronounce it. That makes me feel a little bit better. Like if family is having a bit of an issue pronouncing it, it gives me hope. But I will definitely be listening to see how that's pronounced. All right. So what I was looking at there was if the cap request, the cap rec command, was a standard IRC command, which it looked like it was. I'm just gonna have to say, Rofi 2K, thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. We do have digital lab coats available upon request. However, the actual fitting of said lab coat is a little sketchy right now. There seems to have been a little bit of a bug in the part where we actually made the lab coats fit. So kind of have to bear with us. We are but a small shop. At some point, that message will get consistent, and I'll just repeat it from memory. But until that time, nah. So what I was thinking was adding a new function onto the IRC client, not so much in the bot itself, since a capability request is an IRC. Let's see here. Cap request, and we want to say capability is a string, and this could return an error. Since it was not really something that was bot specific, it was actually IRC specific, it felt like it belonged in the IRC client. So it'll more or less be the exact same pattern, which is fantastic. Cap rec, and the string is going to be capability. Yeah, something like that. So that would effectively allow us to kind of come back here. No, that's not where I wanted to go. That would allow us to come back here. And I think... I think we just kind of add this on to connect. I think it makes sense to just do as part of connect. It could also make sense to do as part of authenticate, but for how long have you been interested in JavaScript? JavaScript kind of comes in and out of my day-to-day programming career. By trade, I am typically finding myself in the Java space, mostly because of my location. They're just Java jobs galore here. So I kind of take a little bit of a reprieve popping over to Go in the stream. But for the majority of my career, it feels like I've always had some requirement to jump into JavaScript. Previously, whether it be to add, basic animations or basic interactivity to simple websites, to PHP websites, or more recently, actually getting into like full stack JavaScript development. Whether I agree with that or not, not really. But it always seems to come up, I guess. So I've tried to keep myself...
So, how are you holding up? Because I'm a potato.
Sorry, I can't think of one. Thank you so much for the gifted sub, mate. And yes, sorry, I can't think of one. Welcome to the additions that I have added to the stream. I seem like a JavaScript guy. I mean, I've gotten that before. And I have tried to keep my JavaScript skills up as much as humanly possible. I try to stay up to date as much as I can. Although I would not call myself a front-end developer, I am definitely a back-end developer through and through. I just kind of keep my chops up as much as I possibly can. Potato. It took an exorbitant amount of time to actually get that soundbite to actually play on stream. Just saying. I'm so happy that it works. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we have to do the capability request initially. I think that's what this said. Let me come back here. So once you establish the connection, the next step is to send a capability request. Okay. And then you do authentication. Yep. So we could either do it as part of authenticate, or we could do it as part of connect. I'm thinking connect. So we'll do like that. And I'm thinking connect just because it's not technically an authentication step. It's basically a connection requirement. So we're going to cap request. And in this, we need twitch.tv tags. Don't want that. I want this to be that. Delete word. Where is it? I'm a backend guy as well, though I just ordered a book from Amazon about JavaScript since I really feel like I need to get better at it. That's awesome. I mean, JavaScript is bloody everywhere. Whether we want it to be everywhere or not is kind of up to grab. But are you working mostly in, or is your employment? Are you starting to do a lot of JavaScript, or is it more of a kind of reading the writing on the wall and getting prepared for a JavaScript transition? Send cap request failed. And then for here, we want cap rec. Twitch.tv/tags. Do something like that, yeah. So in theory, we have our GoBot to read chat. Or sorry, we have our Go routine to read chat. Then we have our cap request. And then we should be good to go. Let's find out. Terminal, source the thing, and then run the thing. How we looking? Cap request. Oh, we got a duplicate cap request. Oh, right, because we didn't have to do the log.print line. I'm a dumb. Let's send a hello. Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that we're getting a lot of stuff on the chat now. Also, it appears that I broke the hello command. Uh-oh. I'm knee-deep in Terraform at the moment. I still had to use JavaScript recently. See? You can't get rid of it. You cannot get rid of it. Okay, so specifically what I wanted to look at here is with tags, we actually have that same pattern that 715 was pointing out. So it's a bunch of stuff, space. I wonder if the space is actually a thing. I feel like the space may not be a thing. We might just be able to split on the colon operator. So if we split prefix on the colon, take the second argument, and then cut that down to just get this kind of first part, then I think that will give me, that should give me what I want, which is just the username. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So let's exit out of that. And so read chat. So here, I think it might make sense to do that that processing for right now. Let's see here. Need to get to bed now. Getting kind of late here in Sweden. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, mate. Very much appreciate having you here. Welcome to the lab. Looking forward to having you back for the next one. Enjoy and sleep well. All right. I think it makes sense to do an extraction. There we go. I think it makes sense to do an extraction here. That way, whenever the message gets broadcasted out to the rest of the world, we retain that. Oh my goodness, my brain. Or. You know, actually, now I'm second guessing that because I just thought of something. Read chat is parsing all messages. There is no distinction between whether it's a read or not, right? Whether it's a priv message or not. But what I'm questioning though, priv messages and whispers are, I think, most of what I care about. And as far as I'm aware, both of those have that form. Let's see here. Join channels, chat messages. Here we go. So, what could we do? We've got notice messages, which are things like subs, resubs, etc. I do want to dig into those, but not quite right now. What I want to dig into is this. Priv messages. And those are kind of in the form that we just looked at. It's colon, name, and the name is right there. So the question is, can I always parse prefix that way? What is the word that I am looking for? Basically, the dilemma that's in my head is whether or not I want to put the parsing of the priv message in the IRC client, or if I want that to be in the bot. It's kind of IRC. But you could also argue that it belongs in the bot. Yeah. Oh, there's no messages for Twitch follows. I have to look into that later then. Okay, so well, let's try it. Let's see what we end up with. Have to stir my matcha a little bit. So what I'm thinking is, let's just do it. Let's do it in the IRC for right now. So we end up with something like this. And not to mention, for the IRC message, we actually do have to add the username to the message struct. Right? So if we wanted to capture that information, we would have to add that to the struct. Otherwise, Otherwise, we would have to create a new bot message that is effectively an embed of the original message struct. And I don't really want to go through all that layering right now. It seems like unnecessary complexity for what we're trying to do. So what I think makes more sense is to just add the username here. For now, we'll do username extraction. We'll add it into the IRC. And if it seems like it's a little too non-IRC, then we'll move it over into the bot somehow. So what do we want to do? We want to take the prefix. So message.prefix. And we want to do strings.split. And here we want to do message.prefix. Oops. And we want to separate on the colon. Emklin, welcome back, Sorcery. Thank you so much for coming back. And thank you so much for blinging. Thank you so much for blinging. I'm not going to correct it. So what we would want here is the first entry. Thank you for what? I don't know what you're talking about. This would be the raw username, I believe. And then what we could do, because if we go back to the example of it looking something like this, I think if we do an additional split, we might be able to make this work. Phoenix with the feature request redemption. Oh my goodness. I feel like I have grossly underestimated how fast people are collecting points, but you know what? That's okay. Phoenix, if you could send me your feature request in Discord, just so that I have a record of what that feature is, I will get that added to the feature list. First feature request redemption. Oh shit. I'll drink to that. So I'm thinking that if I do the exact same thing, I could say username equals strings.split. And in this case, we want to take the raw username and we want to split it on the exclamation point. And then we want to take the first one. So the thought there is that, let me make this a little bit smaller. So if we have this, if we take the string of this example, JTV blah, in a private message when we have additional capabilities, the prefix would look something like blah, 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 colon, and then JTV. So the first strings.split, I think, would then give us a slice of this stuff over here and this stuff over here. So then we take the first index, which first index is actually the second element because 0 indexing. So that would just give us this part. If I'm thinking about this proper. Then if we did an additional split on the exclamation point, then that would give us 2 tokens of JTV and JTV at tmi.twitch.tv, blah, blah. You take the 0th index, and that would just give you JTV. The caveat to this, though, is on commands that don't have that. Minxie Graphics? I think I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. Welcome to an attempt to build a Twitch bot in Go, where I struggle with everything. But hey, that's the whole point of the stream. Whole point of the stream is to show you guys that I struggle. I've been a developer for 15 years and they still making me struggle to do basic shit. Alright, let's put that away. Oh no, we're out of matcha too. Oh, we're down to water and coffee. A moment of silence for the empty matcha bowl. Give that a clean later. Alright. Username declared but is not used. That's okay. F's for the matcha. And then I think you can do message.user equals username at this point. Why don't you do this instead? Skip the first character and split till exclamation, and you got the username. So what's the rationale of the skip the first character? Trying to parse this in my head. Because I definitely don't like the double string split for sure. You don't need the colon. Okay. Thinking. So you're saying that if we skipped the first character, we wouldn't have to do this part? Because I think we still have to do this part if we have all of the other bits. Shiloh Plays, thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. Digital lab coats are available upon request. However, the guarantee of fit is basically non-existent, so all the other stuff shouldn't be part of the prefix? Well, okay, so, food for thought. Shouldn't be, but currently is, if I'm reading this correctly. And this is back in the IRC, by the way. So, all the other stuff shouldn't be part of the prefix. 715, is it a difference of what's the phrase I'm looking for? Is it terminology? Because I thought all of this was considered the prefix of a message. Is that not the correct terminology? Sounds like it's not correct terminology, which is highly plausible, considering that I kind of just skipped away. The message starting with @ are tags, correct. And because we didn't have tags at the beginning, I think I just blanket called everything before the command the prefix, which I'm imagining is now starting to come back up at me. So is it technically, well, in this case, this is what's confusing me. So in these, the tags seems to just be all encompassing to everything up to the command, which does not seem right, like, at all. They forgot to add the prefix. Okay, so technically it should be tags, prefix, command, etc., etc. Okay. So an interesting tags and prefix are optional. I think technically from the perspective of IRC, they're optional, but from the perspective of Twitch, they're more or less always present for the commands that we care about. I think. I do remember you saying that they were not required for sending messages back, but for the messages coming to us, they were required. Except for ping, because ping. Oh, ping. You glorious, glorious soul. Actually, that's a fair point. So, because we're assuming in this read that there is always a prefix. So you have a good call out. So we probably actually just need to do proper prefix extraction at this point, I think. Eek. Okay. For the time being, for the sake of simplicity, which is an excuse that I make often, to do proper splitting of tags versus prefix. Because we're definitely going to need to do that. And I say definitely because soon we're actually going to use that prefix in the admin panel, if I remember correctly. So, so if message.prefix is not empty, which is there a strings.empty? No. Is? No. Okay. That's fine. So we only want to do this if there is actually a prefix to parse. And at the moment we do have to do this because of the way that we're currently parsing prefixes. However, 2715's point, when we actually do things proper and actually start handling tags and so forth, that will have to be updated. Which this code in general will probably have to be updated to account for, is there an @ symbol at the front? Well, we have tag processing, parse accordingly, otherwise do other things. But if the prefix is not empty, we want to split on that, get our username, return the message. Bear with me on this one. I am purposefully choosing to ignore that for right now because that will be a feature that we're going to work on a little bit later. And in fact, I'm actually going to add that to the to-do list. Process IRC tags versus prefix. Oh, whoops. There we go. Wanted to make a note for myself before, well, have a note here as part of the to-do, but also need that piece. Cat cam! Oh, snap. Hang on. I need a kitty. Hello. Oh my goodness, it's a Toby. Oh, Toby came running. Come here, buddy. Toby came running. Hello, sweet boy. That's surprising. Normally it's Zelda that comes running. But I guess she didn't want to be on camera. Oh, no, there she is. She's lurking in the hallway, staring at me menacingly. And all I see is like the tiny glint of light coming into her eye, which is totally not creepy in the slightest. Oh, let's see here. Menacingly. Oh, let's see here. So, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? What do we want to do? Is this everything? Is this everything we want? Let's find out. Let's also come back up to the string function. I think I want to change this for the sake of debugging. Blake32383. Thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Digital lab coats are available upon request. However, the actual fitting of those lab coats are non-deterministic because we have a little bit of a bug in that code. So bear with us. I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to do a terrible thing, but I just want to see it working, to be perfectly honest. So let's get the terminal up. Let's source our access token, and then let's run our shit. Okay, so now we need a thing. Hello. Ooh. That doesn't appear to have done what I wanted it to do. Or did it? No, it didn't. Okay. Okay, so that did not do what I wanted it to do because I probably don't remember what all is referencing this code. Logging handler. No, that's what I thought. So we have the logging handler. The logging handler is basically just a proxy to to bot.string. However, it appears that it is not actually doing what I want it to do. Well, isn't that unfortunate? Let's see if we can figure out why. So I have our message, have the thing. If the prefix was not equal to empty string, I think it's correct. Then we want to strings.split on message.prefix, which, I mean, we can kind of go a little ridiculous. Log.printf, raw is this thing, which is raw. It's rare. It's the rare username, don't you know? And then we want parsed is username. Almost like hunching over my knee that I've just awkwardly placed in front of my chest. Yes, let's bring terminal back up. Source. Run. Okay. Okay. Hang on a tick. We have a thing. Interesting. Our condition's not being met. Very interesting. So it would appear. So if I look at the above, we've actually got a raw. That extraction is happening properly, which is fantastic. But it appears that for the priv message, our condition is not being met. So that's, whoops. So that's working and that's working, but this part does not appear to be working. Let me see that one more time. source and go run. Oh no, I removed the I removed the things. Hi Blake, how you doing, mate? Let's see here. I removed the logs, which is not what I wanted to do. Go run, main.go. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so right there, we got our cap acknowledgement for this piece, which even with those additional parsings, we still got tmi.twitch.tv, which means that potentially systems messages or system messages are still going to work properly. And this also appears to be working properly. At least that part appears to be working properly. So if we don't have the tags, I feel like I missed something here. If we don't have the tags, it parses properly, hence the inclusion of Medulabs here versus the raw inclusion here, which that does, I should probably come back up here. I should probably delete that, uncomment that, save that, bring that back up to, source and go run. Yeah, there we go. So there's the join command. The join command has the preceding colon with the full prefix. And when we get the raw and the parsed values, they parse properly. But the minute that we say, try to do a command, now all of a sudden, we're not parsing at all. Which is very interesting. And it makes me wonder why. I think for the sake of testing, let me come up to read. Read. 876 billionaire. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab, and that is a fantastic name, by the way. Digital lab coats are available upon request. However, whether or not they actually fit or not is completely indeterministic because we have a bug in our system that actually makes those things a actual thing. Yeah, see, I'm starting to slowly move towards some kind of consistent message, and therefore the message is starting to get faster. And I'm also realizing that I thought I had an updated sound alert for follows, but I'm starting to realize that I don't. Something to fix after stream. Let's see here. So if I get rid of... Oops. Yeah, why not? If I get rid of the prefix check and I just do that, is it going to work? Okay. Perfect. Fabian Molinab? I don't think I pronounced that right. I sincerely apologize. Hello there. Welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. Runtime error. Index out of bounds. Index 1. Which means that we are indeed splitting it incorrectly. 715, I think I owe you points. Let's see here. Can I do that? I don't even know if I can do that. No, I cannot. Interesting. I will have to figure out how to do that at some point. But oh Lord, hold on. Ontological tofu? That is a fantastic name. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. Oh my goodness, there is a lot of action going on tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. The support is insane for me causing my Go code to panic. And code B9, thank you so much for the follow. Holy crap. What is happening? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the lab. I don't know what to do. All right, so we have a little bit of a problem. We have a little bit of a problem with our this here index out of range exception, which is interesting because I thought that prefix. I thought a prefix split would have done that. Okay. So let's see. Let's take a look. Then again, it might be. That's very interesting. So why? Okay, so definitely we do need this check. We definitely need the check for if the message prefix is not empty. Oh. I remember. So remember at some point when I said that, capabilities request, I was just going to throw in there, see kind of what happens. Well, what happens is I create a panic condition for myself. And the reason that I'm causing a panic condition is because of this, because of the parsing of these messages. Oy vey. Hey, 715. How many times have I said, yeah, you're right? Because if I haven't, yeah, you're right. I'm just imagining 715 just sitting on the other end of the stream, just going like, ugh. If he just parses the message properly, he wouldn't run into these problems. But that's half of the fun, isn't it? Isn't it? A little bit of my my southern is coming in. I wasn't watching. Fantastic. You saw nothing. Nothing happened. Totally didn't panic because of the parsing that you told me to do over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. All right. I will not put it off anymore. We will have tags. I don't think we need the prefix anymore, in theory. 715, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there anything that you can think of other than the username in the prefix that we would really care about? I feel like the prefix would really just be the username. Nope, just username? Cool. So in that case, we're about to break a lot of our code. Let's see here. So I'm going to change this to user. And oh boy, now I got to fix a lot of this code. So we don't need that. We don't need that. We definitely don't need that. All of that should be fine, I think. So let's come back up to read. Okay. So I think the first things first, is parsing for tags. But then the question becomes, so we have more or less two different forms of messages that are coming in. We have tmi.twitch.tv CMD stuff. And then we have tag equals 1, tag equals 2. I think it ends like that. Space, name, TMI, name at tmi.twitch.tv, CMD, blah. So in theory, I should still be able to split on the colon, and I'm kind of confused as to why I cannot split on the colon. I guess it's because it doesn't surround? But then that wouldn't make any... Hold on a second. Hang on a minute. Yes, I'm opening up the Go Playground to test this. Don't judge me. So string equals, and then we'll just do an at tag equals 1, colon, name, blah. Split entire message by space, check first character, move from there, potentially. tmi.twitch.tv, cmd, blah, blah, blah. So if we did strings.split, string, have no idea what just happened to my voice there, but string, it's starting to choke me up, man. Yeah. Oh god, I don't have Vim key bindings on the playground. Format dot println format imports format run. Yeah. Okay. So we could potentially do something here. I think. Gonna take off now. Have a wonderful rest of your stream. Thank you so much, Sorcery. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you all are interested in a fantastic streamer that is currently doing Dark Souls and will potentially be doing some Halloween spectaculars, give Sorcery and Sarcasm a follow. She is a fantastic streamer. Obviously, she is a fantastic mod for the lab, but she herself is a streamer, so definitely give her a shout because she is awesome. She is one of the best friends that I could ever ask for, so. And a very wholesome community, too, just saying.
Good night, everyone. Enjoy the codiest of the coding codes code. Yes.
Thank you, Sorcery. Have a good one. That is exactly what we're doing. The codiest of the coding codes. Code. Yes. Oh my goodness. So there's that. There's also there's also this form. Mod out, tear the I didn't even get to read the message. Holy shit. The fastest mod out there. I'm sorry, Marvel. I'm so sorry, Marvel. I know she bullies you. One day there will be justice. But not this day. But one day. Okay. I'm thinking something that we could do, 715, as a slight twist to your recommendation. If we were to split this message on space, which we are still currently doing, that will give us tokens. Then we can do more or less some processing of token 0. I think. Keep me honest here. If strings.has prefix tokens 0 at symbol, then we have tags. So message would equal a new message. And we would have all of these things, including tags equals, or tags is, I guess this one would be, what do we want to do? Strings dot split. On this one would be do we have a simple way of cutting a string? No. Trim right, trim left. This is not going to be very great. So this would be tokens 0, trim the @ sign, split on that. And then more or less we would have all of this stuff. And we could potentially just ignore this. Instead of doing, sorry, not ignore, hello, what am I doing? My brain is starting to go a little bit. Bear with me, guys. I think we can do something like this. So we can just add this bit. Sync engineer with the redemption of John Cena. I knew a table flip redemption was just going to be too much to resist. Also, Sync Engineer, thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. Oh, it has been a points trap. So if we have the prefix of at, then parse the tags. Parse the tags, trimming the at symbol, and then split that string on semicolon. That should give us a slice of strings. Eventually, I'm probably going to change this from a slice of strings to a proper like map of string. Because since the tags are key value pairs, it makes more sense for that to be a map. But for the time being, splitting them kind of initially seems to be okay. So this will only run if the first token is an @ sign. Otherwise, but then message dot, that would mean that message dot tags is this, and then prefix is, or not prefix, username is this stuff. So so this would be username extraction. What is the IDE I'm using? I'm using Vim. This would be This would be Vim 8.2 with COC as the autocomplete provider, and Groovebox as the color scheme, as the Primogen would like to say. Boop. And in case you're interested in dot files are posted. I would just use a position use a position integer to check where I am. Can you elaborate? I am intrigued. Absolutely. Finally done with my alerts and overlays. Jim's going to be hard on 5 hours of sleep. Thank you so much for stopping by, Neelikin. Hope you have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your evening, however much left there may be, or perhaps morning. I actually don't remember. I'm terrible with time zones. Have a good one, mate. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. And congrats on affiliate. Boop. Give a quick shout out to Neelikin again. Fantastic streamer. If I have tags, move the cursor to the colon after parsing tags. Makes sense. Oh, Jesus. Crumpet Gang Raid. Guitar. How are you doing, mate? Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome back to the lab. Oh, my goodness. And those emotes. So good. Let's see here. So then you could just have if tags, if prefix. Okay. Interesting. Look at all those emotes. Oh my goodness. Checking out your stream with the Crumpet Gang. Thank you so much, Artifacts. Oh my goodness, I will never get there. Thank you so much for stopping by. And Scratchy H, do you know any Java? I do. My day job is actually in Java. JavaScript, insert various things here. But yeah. Dude, had to drop in when I saw you were streaming. How goes everything? Surrender your tea and crumpets. Unfortunately, the tea is gone. Why is the tea always gone, Guitar? Why? And I actually don't have any. I have not had anything to chomp on. This feels real bad, man. I'm just trying to pass computed values to my main method, but I'm not sure how to from my J option. Scratchy H. If you would like, we do have a Discord. It's not very active, but if you would like to send any questions, disclaimer: not particularly great with, or not particularly good on doing things like homework assignments and so forth. But I am more than happy to discuss current problems you're running into, any solutions that you may have done, etc., etc. So feel free, if you want to, pop on in and feel free to message me. There's a Q&A section if you wanted to post it there. Alternatively, you can DM me directly. Cheers, mate. Isn't it why is the rum gone? Well, in my case, why is the bourbon gone? It was but a small glass. Options. To catch everybody up at this point, because holy crap, we have a lot of people viewing right now. Hello. Just to catch everybody up, so we are attempting to build a Twitch bot in Go. At the moment, we have the bot reading from Twitch IRC. We have these chat messages being logged into the console, and we also have some basic command handling, although it's kind of a hit or miss as to whether or not it actually works or not. So we're actually breaking the core part of making that work. So welcome. We are attempting to do some proper message parsing off tags, parsing off the username, etc., etc. So, yes, welcome to Medj attempting to destroy everything that he has currently created. And Guitar, I believe you were referring to the organic Japanese matcha brought to you by Jade Leaf. If you would like to know where you can purchase this fantastic matcha tea, you can find it on Amazon. Hashtag not sponsored. Cat cam. Oh boy. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find a cat. Aha, we found the tiny cat. Oh, she's sleepy. She was sleeping. Hang on. Come here, honey. Oh, hello. Can I pick you up for the cat cam? Oh. Here she is. Boop. She is sleepy. Oh my goodness. Hello, birdie. Yeah, was you sleeping? Oh my goodness. Yep, she was sleeping. She's just chilling. This is probably the longest cat cam redemption I think that I've had so far, but look at how cute she's being. How can you say no? Sounds interesting. I'm doing some game dev with... Oh.
Thanks for the help.
No worries, Scratchy H. Thank you so much, mate. And thank you so much for the bits. Cheers, mate. Let's see here. I've been doing some game dev with Unity C#. Curious to see how much of your stream I'm able to follow. Hey, I mean, I'm kind of curious. Thank you, baby girl. Game dev is not really something that I really got into. So I got more into the call it the enterprise web application / data analytics / that side of things. The not game dev side of the world. I was very interested in game dev initially. I almost went to school for it. I almost chose my university based on game development. And it was ruined for me. I'm genuinely curious to see the parallels between them, though. And unfortunately, fortunately, it kind of depends. The next project on the stream might be an attempt at a 2D game in Go. So I would be curious to see, like, if we actually do that, Artifacts, if you stick around, I'd be curious to see the comparison between the Go version, which is going to be scuffed as all hell, and the Unity and C# version. Because that has been a point of curiosity for me for quite some time. Was all you had left? Well, thank you, Scratchy. I believe the bit minimum for TTS is 1, if I remember correctly. So, but, I mean, much appreciated. All bits are very much appreciated. Oh, boy. Trikit X or Trickit? Oh, I'm not even going to try. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab, where we attempt to build a Twitch bot in Go. All right. My brain is starting to fold over on itself, but I really want to make this work. So let's see. Let's think about this. Officer Wolf! Hello, hello! Thank you so much for stopping by, mate. Welcome back to the lab. Happy to have you. Let's see here. Do you do any cybersecurity? That's what I want to get into. No. So I did a very brief stint in threat analytics, and as part of my job on a day-to-day, I do have a kind of an eye on security concepts and fundamentals. But beyond that, especially when it comes to things like pen testing or effectively like white hat type stuff, never really got into it. No. Today is a good day. I can finally relax. That is awesome to hear. And yeah, sorry, I can't think of one. I heard the foil, and I was like, but she seems to be deterred by the foil. So, oh, let's see here. As much as I enjoy doing game dev, it's not been easy job-wise. I unfortunately have heard similar things, artifacts. Ugh. That's fair, Officer Wolf. Just saying. All right, let's see here. Is this the way that I want to do this? I think 715 has a point. Let's see how quickly it falls that that my idea falls through, and then I just end up trying to do what 715 was suggesting that I do anyway. Let's see here. So if we have, so the first token is either going to be a collection of tags or the beginning of the prefix. So if the prefix, if token 0 has the prefix of an @ symbol, then we know that we have tags. We split on them, we parse them, we do our thing. Immediately after that, to 715's point, we effectively need to shift a cursor. If we were shifting the cursor, we would have to shift that cursor, check to see if that is a semicolon, more or less. Alternatively, though, that would just mean that we would parse on tokens 1. Hang on a sec. If token 0 starts with an @ symbol, then that means that tokens 1, this would be tokens 1, if I remember correctly. Serp King, is this live? Yes, indeed it is. Welcome to the lab. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are attempting to live code a Twitch bot in Go. Whether we're succeeding or not, completely different discussion. Doggo just barged in. That's okay. Yes. So that would mean that token 0 is the tags, tokens 1 is the prefix, which we would then be able to use to parse out our username, assign that to the username. Jade Leaf Tea is out of stock. I beg your pardon, Guitar. I'm about to riot. Uh-oh. Double checking to make sure that the stream is still going. Okay. My laptop was kind of broke for a second there, but just wanted to double check. Double checking, live check. Does everybody hear me? Can everybody see me? I really wanted to try it. I know. Mic check 12. Fantastic. Okay. Seems to be okay. All right. So we're going to keep on going. Ground control to Major Tom. Did this man fall down? Let's see here. I really don't like else checks. Blech. Yeah. We could do something special with that, I think. We could do this. Like, if I really wanted to avoid the else, what I could do is I could do something like this. I could just say tags is this. We could say we've already got the username. So then we could just return the message. Tags is tags. User is username. And then command is tokens2. And then params, which I'm not particularly fond of that abstraction at the moment. Oh, right. Is it? Yeah. Oops. Nil. So we want to return the message and nil. Otherwise, so this is more or less the special case of if tags are present, parse them out. Otherwise, no tags, process. Well, no tags, basically. Let's see here. And we would end up with, hello, Tiny Cat. Tiny Cat has decided free cat cam redemption. Oh, Artifacts, thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Oh. Tiny Cat is attacking the stream. Let's see here. Yeah, we are going to have duplicate code. Which I think we can do something about. No tags. Let's start with this. So this is what we had originally. This is more or less the special case for tags. So we kind of turned it into a special case. And in this case, we're doing an extraction of tags. We're also doing the extraction of username, which we're going to need, to 715's point, we're going to need that username extraction down here. So what we can do, we can do a couple of things. I think for the lulz, we would do that. Tags would more or less be nil. Otherwise, it would just be command and tokens, if I'm reading that correctly. Which this is more or less the case for ping pong. So we've got ping pong, we've got message with no tags, we've got message with tags. Now I agree. I don't particularly like the way that this code is currently reading. There is definitely some opportunity for some cleanup that we probably desperately need to take advantage of. Curious question is, does it work? I think the answer is no. But let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. How badly have we broken this? Oh, we've broken it pretty bad, actually. Oh, did I not change the did I not change the indexes? Again? I don't think I changed the indexes. Let's try this again. Hashtag it just works. But how? That's the real question. But how? Okay, so that's not bad. Does hello still work? Hey, hello started working again.
Holy crap, chat. That's incredible.
Chat, I think we've done it. It works. Sure as hell ain't right. Sure as hell ain't pretty. Ooh. Okay. And because we've gotten to this point, obviously, next part. Do I have a GDiff? Oh, I do have a GDiff, but I don't want it there. I want it over here. Let's see the GDiff. Oh, nope. Okay. Let me exit out of this. Just do a regular get diff. So for our get diff, we've got in bot, we've got the addition of channel. And we've got the capability request. Okay, so I think that can be a separate commit. The greet handler we won't check in just yet. So we'll just do a git reset on all of that. Give us a clean slate. Git add the bot and git commit -m. For this, we are we're adding the cap request to connect, add channel to bot for easier messaging. And then we have the change in IRC, which adds tags and user processing. The scuffed version. We will definitely call this the scuffed version. So let's git add IRC, git commit. Actually, let's do a quick status just to be sure. Yep. Git commit -m. We're going to call this the first draft of tags and username parsing. Okay. One quick question. Oh, hang on. Oh. 1 second, folks. Poor pupper. All right. Scratchy H, I will have to come back to that. Sorry, mate. Can you post that to me on Discord? We'll be finishing up here in a few, so I can address that there. What do I want to do here? Yeah, we'll actually leave it there. IRC, and by leave it there, I mean the commit. So we do have a couple of things that we will want to change about that. Number one, there is, as Sim15 pointed out, code duplication, which is the parsing of username. And I think we could probably include that. We could do something very simple as just a func parse username. And this would be from a given token. So what we could technically do is we could just yeet this code down into here. And a token would be this. And then you could just return that. We could do some error handling in here, I think. But there's a couple of other bits. Not just usernames, you can make it all simpler. I am intrigued. And I do remember the mention of cursor. I'm just not internalizing that implementation idea at the moment, so bear with me. I'm running on fumes at the moment. Yeah, there's a couple of things that we probably should do there to make that error handling a bit better. But before we get too far down that path, let me give this another look here. Thinking about you could, okay. Thinking about the cursor idea a little bit. If you just kept an integer of cursor being 0 in this particular case, since I have a commit for this now, I can do this. Cursor equals 0. If strings that has prefix cursor 0, you get the tags out of it. And then you can say cursor plus plus. Then, at that point, you could do an additional check, or you could do the next check, which is more or less the if strings that has prefix cursor 1, parse the username, split that out. You'd probably have to keep, well, you'd probably put the message up here. Instead of doing tags, you would say message.tags, parse it out. Same thing for cursor 1. Cursor 1 message.user would equal username. And then effectively you just do the same thing. Increment the cursor. And then command becomes cursor plus 1. Params becomes cursor plus 2 to infinity. Interesting idea. Interesting idea. I like that. Okay, so let's give this a shot. Since we have a commit for this, which is the important bit, we have a commit that has the working solution. So we can simplify that down to that. So message equals message. This becomes message.tags equals string.split cursor plus plus. Next, if strings.has prefix tokens cursor, then we must be doing prefix therefore parse username, so we can yoink that into here, which would give us message.user equals username, and then cursor plus plus. Finally, this point, we should, in theory, have, which, yes, chat, we are going to write tests for all of this. So we would end up with message. We wouldn't want to do that. We would want to do remaining 2 cursor points should be command and params. And if we go beyond that, then we've exploded. Now we should definitely do some bounds checking in here. We will add that here in just a few. So message.command should be tokens cursor, and then message.params okay. Tokens cursor +1 to infinitum. Oh, geez, I don't know what I just did there. And then we would return message : nil. If I'm reading that properly. All right, let me catch up with chat. I know we've got some compilation errors, but we don't actually need that anymore. We actually don't need that anymore. And we don't need that anymore. Dead code. We'll give that a look in just a second. Okay. Let's see here. You can check if there are actually any params. Aha. So we'll come back to that. Do you use the GoTest generate table-driven test feature in your Vim setup? That KCA, I am not familiar with that tooling. Can you elaborate? Because I am very curious. I am familiar with the table-driven test features in Go, but I am not familiar with a generate function, so I am curious. Wow, it looks so much simpler now. I know someone thought it's as if you've done this before. Let's see here. So let's give this another read. Message strings, trim space, split on space. Message equals that, cursor equals 0. If we have prefix on cursor, which at this point would be 0, if we have the prefix of the @ symbol, split it, message.tags equals blah, cursor ++. Next, if strings has prefix tokens cursor, which could be either 0 or 1, you are correct. Boop. Good catch, 715. Do that. And then this also becomes tokens cursor. Username becomes that. Increment the cursor. Remaining cursor points should be command and params. So that would mean that tokens cursor is command and tokens cursor +1 to infinitum is params, which would also work for the ping message that doesn't have any. And that should work. Okay. Catching up on this, call GoTest to generate a test for the function at the current line or function selected in visual mode. Aww. Oh, do I not? Wait a minute. Do I not have? Hold on a second. I was going to say, I definitely have Vimgo in here. I call shenanigans on that. I'll have to look into that that KCA because I am now very, very curious. And it's probably just me being a dumb, which is pretty common, not gonna lie. But yes, I am very curious about this feature, so I will dig into that here a little bit later. Huh. You've got me curious. You got me very curious. All right, ladies and gents. Moment of truth. Go run. Main.go. Explosion denied. Ah. We did it, folks. We did it. Holy crap, 715. It's only been an eternity since you told me that I need to do proper processing of these messages. Oh my goodness. 715, I appreciate your guidance on this. That is phenomenal. And I love it. Technically speaking, I do have to sit here for a good 5 minutes or so before this here does the ping pong, so that we can actually validate the ping pong works properly. Although this would be a good opportunity to write a test for this damn code. Just saying. However, there is a wee bit of a problem. Buoto go test Vim. Aha! Thank you, KCA. That KCA. So sorry. I will give this a look later. Thank you so much for the recommendation. I like it. All right. This parser is cleaner than mine. Really? Damn. Hashtag advertisement for Go? Oh, man. All right. So that means that we've gotten the username. We've gotten the username parsed, which I should rewrite it. Said every developer ever. Literally ever. Cleaner parsing. Thanks to 715 209. 715-209, you are now immortalized into the commit messages of this code. It was one of the best things about writing Go at job -2. That's pretty baller. And I am now very curious because I'm very used to writing the table tests manually, which is not something that I am particularly proud of considering that I like to automate bloody everything. But okay. Now, we should be able to come back after all this time. Let's see here. Oh, we need a leader PF because we need greet handler, which is currently not staged. Hide and stretch. Thank you. Sorry, I can't think of one. Put that down. Oh, that stretch was much needed. Thank you. Sorry, I can't think of one. Am I listening to the tags yet? Yes. We just added into bot.go. Where did I put this? I put this in the connect, I believe. Yep. Which we don't need the additional cap request because it sends it anyway. We did add a cap request function in IRC, and then we added that as part of the connect function. So we are technically now receiving tags, although we don't technically need to, at least not at the moment. So now I'm curious, if I turn this off, does it still work? Go run main.go. Only problem is that it doesn't use Go CMP by default. Interesting. GIF is actually pretty mind-blowing. Curious. Oh, that's cool. No, that's cool. Okay, I want that. I need that in my life. We're going to be digging into that later. And it's still working. Holy crap. Let me double check that with the quick goal. Hello, world. Yay. All right. I feel like the TTS bot. Woo. Oh, wait. I wonder if this one does it. Cheer one. I can't cheer in my own channel? Shenanigans. Oof. Shenanigans. All right. So, we're going to get rid of tags for now because we don't need them yet, but we will need them for the admin. So, we're going to come back to that. Leader PF. Nope. Leader PF. We need the greeting handler. So now, this is message.user. So now we have message.user, which to catch everybody up who may be new to the stream at this point, and I'm actually reading that as a bit of a change point. So I'm going to change this to message.user. And we're going to change this to username. Change within boop. Username. Oh, geez. Change within boop. Username. There we go. Username. You can tell where my hand is resting because I keep hitting comma instead of M. Let's see here. Username equals message user. If the username is absent, add the message, blah, blah, blah. So to catch everybody up who may have come into the stream a little bit later, what we are attempting to do right now is to add an auto greet function to the bot, mostly just to see how it's done, but also as a potential jump opportunity to introduce new infrastructure, which it doesn't look like I'm going to get to tonight. But the idea being that instead of the bot greeting people based off of IRC join commands, what we really wanted to do was to create, in effect, a ledger inside of the bot, such that the ledger would keep a record of everybody that has joined and chatted up to this point, send some kind of a message. That way we don't call out lurkers, we don't call out people that are just passing by. We only respond to people that are chatting in the message. Which also, I need a bit of a time.sleep. 2 times time.second. The reason is because they're basically going to send a message and then immediately it's going to be like, hello, welcome to the chat. So we'll get there. But in order to do that function, we effectively needed a ledger. A ledger is just a collection of usernames that have chatted in the chat before. And we have this this message handler. So when a message comes in from the chat, it gets broadcasted to all of these handlers. Excuse me. Oh. Mr. Know-It-All. Thank you so much for the follow, mate. Welcome to the lab. Let's see here. So a handler is basically receiving a message when it comes off of the client. So we are using this to register a new handler. We grab the user on that message. We check if we've seen that user chat before. If we haven't, we're going to add them to the ledger. We're going to just do a quick welcome message, sleep for 2 seconds, and then send them a message. And it's worth noting that the handler is run as part of a Go routine. So if we get multiples of these, we're sleeping on the Go routine. We're not sleeping on the main thread. And thank you for the stretch and hydrate, Mr. Know-It-All. At the moment, the ledger itself is just an in-memory map of string to integer. The reason that we did string to integer is just so that we could have something there. And then the ledger is sitting behind these functions. The reason that I did this is because eventually I am intending to turn this into an interface of some kind. So the interface will more or less be an abstraction to whether we're using an in-memory version or if we use something more exotic, thinking of something like, say, Redis, which I have been looking for an excuse to use Redis in this bot since we started working with it. So we have our handler. That handler does things. Let's see if it works. So let's go to our main file, which is where we have this bot.registerGreeter. And let's see what happens. What do we want? We want source. Go run. Are you ready? Hello, world. Oh, but the bot's not registering. Oh no. Send another one. Hi. Nope. Not getting the thing. Okay. Okay. So let's see. What did we do? Or what did we not do is probably the better question. Let's see here. So we're initializing the ledger. I don't really like this because this is effectively global state. So yeah, we're definitely going to need to fix this. My theory is that if we turn this into an interface, if we turn the ledger into an interface, then we're going to end up with inside of here a ledger of type ledger. So we pass in the version of the ledger that we actually want inside of the function, and then the function will just consume that ledger that exists externally. But since we don't have that, we kind of have to figure out what's going on. So log.println or printf, never seen S before. Username. Okay. Bot.send message. Should be. And I did indeed join the channel. You know what? I'm not going to do the error handling right now. I was having a thought earlier about why I would want to do that, but I think I'm going to hold off on that for now. Just to see, just to eliminate some variables. Source that. Go run main.go. Boom, my laptop's about to die. Oh dear. Never seen MedgeLabs before. Oh. Okay. Could I get a message in chat, please, from somebody that is not MedgeLabs? Never seen 715209 before. Okay. Test socks. And 715 or that KCA. Could I get another message from you real quick? Oh wait, did I see it twice? Okay, so it is at least registering properly. It's just not sending the message properly. Okay. And I bet it's because of... Oh, no. Does anybody remember a while ago when when I didn't implement this function. Zeratsy, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. Welcome to me recognizing that I forgot something. Yeah, remember how I made this function and then I just didn't implement it? Oh my goodness. Mr. Imalex? Or Marimilex. Or is it somewhere else? I apologize. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Thank you so much for stopping by. Welcome to the lab. Oh my goodness. This was... Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. Message equals... Schnitzel. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the lab. Welcome to me recognizing that I am a dangus. And we do want this to be an error. This is going to be return bot.client. Oh my goodness. There's some stuff happening right now. Bot.channel message. So we got bot.client.priv message, bot.channel message. Technically, we don't really want to have an error here. I think we actually want to have, this is the site where I would imagine things like to do exponential back off retry logic sorely needed, because we don't do that logic anywhere. All right, the dog is going nutsoid right now, so I may have to pop off here in just a second. But let's do a quick test. Oh, imported not used FMT. Oh, that was the last FMT in this. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's do a source and a go run. I really should just add that to the make file, but I'm being really lazy. Oh, and it exploded. Oh, it exploded. Welcome, TMI.twitch.tv. Welcome, Medgelabs. Well, it's working. It's certainly working. Let's see that on a screen that we can actually scroll. Concurrent write to WebSocket connection. Oh goodness. And on that bombshell, we're actually going to have to pause it here. What that effectively means is that I think we do actually need the single pipe going back into the WebSocket. We have multiple Go routines trying to write into a single socket that is not set up for concurrent writes. Oh boy. Okay, but the dog is losing her mind right now, so I am going to have to stop things here. Thank you everybody so much for coming by. Thank you so much for the insane support tonight. Like, that is an insane amount of support and everything, and I genuinely can't internalize it. So thank you everybody for stopping by. I hope to see you all in the next one. We'll be back on Friday about the same time, and we'll pick up the greeter. Code will be up in GitHub here shortly. So thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you soon. Take care.